So my name is Brent Lawrence. I'm one of the consultants here at ETHOSystems. Um, and what we'll be talking about is the release 2026 release 1, give you a bit of an overview and also kind of help you identify those features to look out for and what's upcoming. I want to start off with just highlighting some of the AI-enabled features that Sage is now rolling out. They're, Sage is going to continue to expand our investments in AI, and there's some exciting features. First one to highlight is the Finance Intelligence Agent. What you'll notice is that we can ask Sage Copilot in plain language. Like for example, in this case, list the top 5 vendors with overdue bills. It provides those, and then also it gives you the background of what backs up those numbers. And so this is an early adopter and something that you can request. Sage is also rolling out a new import service, and this has been out for a couple releases now. It really streamlines that import process into Sage Intacct. So for example, where previously we were only limited to CSV files, this service allows you to upload an Excel file and then assign specific columns to Sage Intacct data. We've updated that functionality with AI to help you better match up the data to the Sage destination fields, as well as help you both combine data or split data out into individual fields. Like in this case, where you can maybe split out a name into first and last name, and allows you to both view it and preview it before it actually makes a final change. So some exciting feature updates. They're rolling out new functionality. If you want to take a look at the release notes to see what is upcoming, but they're in the process of releasing additional features to that new Sage import service. Sage Intacct Data Cloud. This may not mean a lot to you. I don't know. The Sage Intacct Data Cloud allows Sage Intacct to load data or replicate data in Snowflake, which is designed to handle large volumes of transactions. It also allows you to connect your other platforms for robust BI tools. So you can use Power BI, Tableau to create views that span across your multiple platforms. Currently, there's a few data elements that are included in this package. What I would do is look out for additional upcoming features as they expand that functionality. And it's especially for those of you that have large volumes of transactions or large reporting requirements. This can really improve your reporting capabilities. Okay, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this release. First of all, we've got Sage is expanding our ability to now have line level approvals, where previously you would route the transaction to like the project manager or the department manager. There's additional rules that have been added, so now it is on a line by line basis, and so that expands that capability. Also need to pair that with, for example, our AP automation that is lining up your invoices. If you have an invoice that touches multiple departments, we can handle that a little bit better now and streamline that process. Pay bills. So we've added some improved functionality around our ability to see large numbers of bills. I think it goes up to 5,000, loads 5,000. It shows up to 5,000, and then also can show 1,000 invoices on the page, or invoice on the page, quite a number of them. And then also it persists the filters across as you page through the different bill pay screens. A couple things to highlight. One is that they have broken out the vendor ID and the vendor name, so you can now sort by either one of those. You also have improved filtering. So you can now apply a filter to a location and a job, and then it will also filter the associated credits with that particular invoice. So this can really streamline applying credits for individual projects or locations and make sure that you get the right credit applied to the right invoice. Bulk project update. This is kind of exciting for those that don't like clicking through individual projects. So we've got the ability to apply a filter to a project and then update fields on that project. Let me just show you really quick what that looks like. Let's drag this over here. So I'm going to go into projects, into this project screen. What you'll notice is I put in a filter here earlier. It is now persisting. So these are persisting in the filter views. I can go ahead and mark the jobs that I want to update, and then we can apply this update field. So I can apply filters and then do all of them, or select individual projects, click on update fields, and then I can update the project type, I can update the status, or like the project manager, and it will update those in bulk rather than having to open up them individually or having a third-party tool. So especially in managing that close status, also it allows you to archive your jobs by marking the status as inactive if those jobs are not needed from prior years. So an exciting option. Okay. We've also added some new flexible retention release options. In the previous update, we added the ability to see the retention release on the primary documents and have better visibility into those retainage fields. This current release allows us to actually release the retention from the subcontract or purchase order document. You open up the document itself, you'll notice there is a primary document details tab, and there's a new release retention button. That allows us to release retention associated with that purchase order. What you'll see is that we can apply a percentage that applies all across all invoice lines. So for example, in this case, if you wanted to release 50% of the retention, you'd enter 50. If you'd like to release all of it, you just enter 100 and will release all the remaining retention, rather than having to go through and filter it in that release retention screen. It really streamlines that. Kind of a quick note here. One of the things we've also added is the ability to have an allowed email list. So this really makes sure that Intacct is sending emails from legitimate sources and not, to prevent any sort of spoofing or other security issues. And you'll see that in a company where you've now got an allowed email list, and you can go ahead and manage that, make sure that your emails are coming from trusted and approved sources. Accounts payable. So we've added a few things. One is that, well, actually just a note here that if you use AP automation, that the domain is changing, and it's coming, just came up through the 16th, through the 13th, 16th, it will move to the new email domain. So make sure that you're aware of that if you have AP automation. Notifications for recurring AP invoices and AR invoices have been updated so that you can get better visibility to those recurring notifications. AP automation, also now predicting tax schedules as expanding capability around that. And also that there is the move for AP and PO line level matching for AP automation. Previously, that had been in limited release, and now it has moved to general availability. It's great. Accounts payable, we've added some new fields to the customer record. For those that are integrating, let me just go ahead and pull up the customer record here just a second. So accounts receivable, if we go into customers, what you'll notice is that we've added some new fields to the customer record that you can now update through your CRM product or manage manually, where you can update it with a health score, a status, and then whether or not you're at risk for churn, which is great for customers with large numbers of end users, or companies with large numbers of customers. We've added a new option for embedded payment services. If you had VersaPay or other ones, we've got a new one that is powered by Fortis and allows you to send an email with a quick link to customers to pay that invoice directly through the email link. And we've also added some additional customer billing groups. So if you generate invoices, it will allow you to group those customers and to be able to apply common charges and invoice those together. Cash management, a number of options here. One is that a document number has now been added to bank interests and charges. Let me go ahead and just show that to you real quick. So what you'll notice is this is on the company setup. You'll notice that there is now a new document number. And what that does is it allows you to better improve your matching for reconciliations, especially for those that will have large numbers of service fees and so forth. They can now have better matching approval, better matching capability. A couple minor ones. One is the entity location is now automatically on the register report. Your file import data from the import assistant is now on the banking cloud tab. So some better visibility to those imported transactions. And then there's a new early adopter bank cash requirements function. And this allows some improved forecasting for your cash requirements and what your expected outlays for AP and such. Construction, we've added some, we've updated some of our capabilities around our work order and our commitment to those service folks, HVAC, mechanical, plumbing, etc. We've added a new application called Work Order Management. Work Order Management is activated, it was included as part of the construction subscription. Let me just go ahead and pull that over here. And so what you'll notice is you've got a new function for work order management. If you go ahead and select that, you're now able to add work orders and have that data element. Right now, the functionality is fairly basic. It's most of these are providing kind of a standard data element that like service products can push into, and so you've got that easy access to that data element from within Sage Intacct, and so I expect that this will improve in capability, but it should really help for those service folks and giving that visibility into Intacct and ease of use. Work in process management. This is one that we touched on in our last release webinar, where we've got the ability to set the project cost to complete as of a specific period. So if you're done with the project, you can mark it as 100% complete. Also, there is better viewing of errors and issues on the WIP schedule. It shows it right there. You'll see it in red as if there's particular errors that you need to resolve. So some improved functionality there. Fixed assets. So a couple things. One is they've added the ability to manage construction in process assets, so that as you build the have the construction process and then transfer that into an in-service asset. We've got some improved functionality around that. Also, we can connect projects to a construction process asset. So as you're doing either a leasehold improvement or some other sort of project that you want to connect to your fixed asset construction and process assets, we now have the ability to link that. We've also updated to be able to adjust asset costs directly from an AP adjustment. That's fantastic. Some new roll forward reports, and also the ability to add the same GL asset account to multiple asset classifications. It's handy. General ledger, we've added some new account reconciliation options. So we've got now the ability to add a sequencer that will match up the debits and credits. You'll be able to see easily what the offsetting debit and credit entry lines are, so you don't have to dig through multiple lines. You can see exactly what's included as part of what. And also some updated options for the dynamic allocations. So now you can use the same account group so that you can allocate your amounts across multiple dimensions, but you don't have to change the overall account balance. So that's kind of cool. Inventory, a couple things. One is we've got new capability around substituting an out of stock item, as well as entering a reserve PO. So you've got capability for your folks if you got for items that are in order to actually do a reserve and go ahead and get that prioritized. So better management of out of stock items. On our reporting, we've got some new options around additional reports for order entry contract values. We've got better performance for retainage value, for retainage balance and cost codes. Also some new reporting areas for cost types and the reporting areas around cost types. So that's great. So Sage, in our last release, we talked about the new Sage AI close automation. So that is moving into general availability. What this is that in Sage, you've got the ability to set up a number of checklist items to kind of help guide the tasks through, or help you guide through the close process. We've added some additional capability around understanding what the progress of those particular items are, so that you can identify bottlenecks of what's slowing down that close process, who owns what task, and then also the ability to send out custom emails surrounding those. So to kind of help identify what is slowing down that close process and identify areas that can be improved moving forward. Taxes, we've got a couple of those, especially for Canadian customers, where we've got better handling of GST taxes, where they display the net and the tax on a single line in the accounts payable and accounts receivable transactions, as well as updated exemption codes for Avalara and Avalara AvaTax, if you guys use that. Okay. So that's a run through of our release for the 2026 first release. Right now, I'll go ahead and open up. If you want to enter any sort of chat comment or any sort of questions in chat, I'd be happy to field those. Also, just a reminder, if you need help with any of this or have any questions for our support, feel free to email them at support@ethosystems.com. We've also got our phone number listed here, and then a link to our upcoming events and webinars. So If anyone has any questions they want to enter in the chat, feel free to do that. That's a great question. How do you become an early adopter? Let me show you. So when you launch the Sage product, you click on the home screen and it brings you to your main page, and this has your release notes. What you'll see is on this, where it has items for early adopter, you'll see what is the early adopter, and then generally, if you'd like to be considered, there's a link to click on a short survey to be considered for that particular option. Any other questions? Excellent. Well, it's been such a pleasure talking with you today, and have a good rest of the day. Take care.